Welcome to After the Buzzer Sports Podcast, the show that's all about real sports and real issues. Let's go.
What's up, everybody out there in After the Buzzers land? This is your man Marvin Orange. Sorry we missed you on Saturday, but we here ready to bring the heat with you on Wednesday tonight. We got some great topics, but at first I'd be remiss if I didn't introduce Miss Raquel M.R. Thomas, as always, Mr. Lee Jones, and LP always kind of bringing the heat for us in the background. So let's kind of get to some of these topics because we want to kind of get through these today. We got some interesting things we want to talk about. The NBA bubble. Is it actually working? 346 players were tested, and there were 0 positive tests. Do you guys think this is working? What are your thoughts initially on the testing and what the protocol is for the NBA? Keeping with the NBA, some NBA GMs are fearful that players will be discussing setting up super teams while in the bubble. Do you think this will be good for the NBA? Do you think this will happen? Are the GMs right to be worried about this? Moving on with the NBA MVP award will take into account not take into account the remaining games in the NBA bubble and only use the pre-COVID season as the barometer. Who do you guys have as your NBA MVP? I know it seems like a two-man race, but do you guys have any sleepers out there that you think might make some noise or could possibly be up for the MVP this season? The NBA will wear the Jordan Jumpman emblem on their uniforms. I guess replacing Jerry West, who was the old emblem. Do you guys think this should be a permanent change for the NBA with Jordan become the new logo? Or do you think it should say the old with Jerry West? Let's get your thoughts on that. That seems to be pretty controversial here lately. The Jets owner, Woody Allen, moving to the NFL. Woody Allen's a film director. Woody Johnson is under fire for alleged racist comments and sexist remarks. We'll kind of go through those in a bit as we talk about them, but there are a lot to kind of dive into and unfold. What do you guys think about his racist remarks? Do you think this is just par for the course? Let's kind of dive into that because this has been pretty controversial over the last few days. The NFL and the NFLPA struck a deal on COVID-19 testing for the players, being daily for training camp in the first 2 weeks of the season, then possibly every other day, and then on depending on the positive cases. Is the NFL in the right direction here? Are they doing the right thing with these COVID-19 testings, or do you guys think it's just a waste of time? Let's kind of delve into that a little bit, see what you guys feel. Moving out on the left coast, California is one of 11 states that have delayed the high school football season starting until January, with Texas and Florida still slated to begin in the fall. What are your thoughts about high school football? Is California the model that other states should follow, considering the rise of COVID-19 cases? Let's jump into that because that's a pretty hot topic right now. I want to see what you think about that. The G League, players are voting to start a players union. What are your thoughts about this regarding the development and how it will shape the G League moving forward, giving those guys maybe a little bit more room at the table? So let's kind of discuss that, see what you guys think about this union forming. And lastly, Antonio Brown has announced that he is retiring from football. Do you believe him? Do you think it's another ploy? Do you think he's trying to pull out our heartstrings, trying to get back into people's good graces? Let's talk about that. I got some thoughts about Antonio Brown. But as always, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, hit us up, 803-570-5031. Call in, give us your thoughts about some of these topics that we're about to dive into. So let's get it popping. All right, the NBA bubble is actually working. 346 players tested, no positive results. Guys, whoever want to jump in on this, do you think that this is working for the NBA?
Well, I mean, I think the results are self-explanatory. The bubble is certainly working. I think my only concern about the bubble were the employees coming in and out of the bubble, but that doesn't seem to be an issue, obviously, because they're around workers all day. But I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. It's working. Nobody's tested for COVID. And it doesn't seem that the staff is affecting the players with them not being in the bubble with them. So I think it is working for the NBA right now.
Lee, what's your thoughts, man?
I mean, I agree with Raquel. I think it's a good model. I mean, for, how you divest and they're testing every day. Those players are quarantined off to themselves, how they deliver food to the players. All of that seems to be a model on what hopefully other sports leagues will build off of. I know you can't put football players or baseball players in a bubble, but just the attention to detail on how they did it and what they're doing is certainly working. How long it's going to work once we start to play is another thing. And as we progress in the bubble, we'll see. But you can't argue the results. 46 players. None of them are positive. So it's actually doing what they thought it would do. Kudos to the NBA for setting it up and getting things done. So I think I guess I agree with Raquel. It's absolutely working.
I mean, come on, guys. I mean, y'all can't be for real right now. You know, this sample size way too small to be patting the NBA on the back right now, talking about, this is working. Come on. It's still very controlled.
The reality is the only sample size that is at stake here is the NBA. What other samples you want us to put in there, Marv?
I'm just saying, I mean, you guys know what's going to happen with this. Come on. Well, they've been there. I mean, y'all know what's going to happen. The barber's going to start coming in. They're going to start bringing people in. People going to sneak out. They've been in the bubble, what, a few weeks now? You got 8 games.
What it is right now, and as it stands today, Marv, it's working. So if it doesn't work 3 weeks from now, we can talk about that 3 weeks from now. But right now, Marvin, it's working.
I mean, it may be working right now, but I see the writing on the wall. That's what I'm saying. So I mean, it sounds good. You can be the negative guy today.
That's fine. But right now, it's working, buddy.
So once the games start and people are tired and the other element of basketball, we'll look at it down the road. But Marv, the model, you have to say the model is working. 0 is a hell of a good number, right? So hey, you got to give them kudos for that. You definitely have to give them kudos for that.
I mean, I'll give them kudos right now, but I just want to make sure that y'all give me a pat on the back when this stuff starts to unfold the way I'm telling you it's going to unfold. All y'all been around players. Raquel, I know you know. The barber's going to start coming in. They're going to start playing these games. But, yes, you guys are right. The model is working right now, but we know how this is going to turn out. We know how it's going to turn out with every major sport. But, yes, we'll move on.
There we go with the pessimistic views.
I mean, for football, I'm right with you, Marv. But for basketball, it seems to be working.
We're going to have an excellent season this year. I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, I hope y'all watched some of that preseason today. Straight trash. Okay? Straight trash.
It was bad. They need some
what do you think about the optics of it? I guess
it looks terrible. It looks terrible, man. It looks like a glorified AAU basketball game. That's what it looked like. Guys look uninterested.
Talk about the fans. The fans, I think if you say, hey, do you look good or do you want to see basketball? Fans, do you want to see them look good and pretty or do you want to see basketball? And fans are going to say, I want to see basketball. So I don't know if that matters so much. Marv, I know you want them to look pretty. I agree. I want them to look pretty too, but the fans want to see basketball. So I don't think fans are really worried about what they look like. They just want to see a good basketball game. And as we go into the playoffs, they want to see a great playoff season. And we know that the guys are going to be a little rusty. They've been home for 3-4 months. So I don't expect them to come out and look like they've been playing for the last 3 months. The first 10 games of the NBA regular season looks just like it looks right now.
Camera angles.
Yeah, but they also play 60 games. They also have played 60 games of the NBA season, man. These are multimillionaires. I mean, I can't give them the pass about they've been home for 3 months and they come back and they look like trash.
They're not. They're human. I mean, that's just like college athletes, right? You have more youth on your side than anything else. If you take off 3 months, it's going to take a little bit to get back into the swing of it. That's all sports. When you take off 3 months, 4 months, you're not going to come out at the end of the 4 months looking like you played 60 games.
Well, but you can't come out looking like you interested in being there. So my optics were they look very disinterested in being there. So that's what I saw. I'm not talking about the quality of basketball I saw. I'm talking about the disinterest that I saw in being there. And make no mistake about it, Lee, Raquel, y'all know this. Like, you play for the fans. You play to look good. You play for the adulation from the crowd. You play for that hypeness when you in there and playing in front of 20, 30,000 people, 50, wherever it may be. Like, that's what you play for. It's going to be a hard adjustment for guys at this level to get. AAU is a different story. We grind and we trying to get there.
But Mark, think back to when you played AAU,
they
Mark.
get paid millions. We're not feeding their egos. We're just trying to see basketball.
But Mark, think back when you played AAU. There were some games you coasted, but when it came time to get towards the championship game, you put the work in, right? So think about them. This is the first, basically, scrimmage game that they're having. So, Mark, tell me how they're going to look when those first 8 start. Let's judge them. And then also, you know that the broadcast and the telecast, they're evolving too with camera angles with no fans in it. So give them a little chance. Boy, you tough on the people, aren't you, Mark?
I'm tough on them. You know what they need to do if we're gonna lose the fans and just the excitement we get from an arena. They need to mic up the players. Let's hear the real stuff.
That would be amazing.
Right? Let's hear the
agree
real
with
stuff
that.
that's going on the court.
Let's
hear all the ish talking.
They have mics around the court, Mark. Open them bad boy. I agree with you on that. Open them bad boy stuff and let's go. Well, let's get some callers in. We'd love to get y'all's opinion on what you guys think. Are you hard like Mark? Mark ain't giving them a chance. Mark want them to Mark want to burst the bubble right now, Raquel. Give him a pen. He just want to burst the bubble. Give me a
I'm done. I already know. All right. Well, moving on. We got some NBA GMs who are fearful that players within the bubble are going to be discussing forming super teams. What do you guys think about this? You think that might be good for the league? Lee, you shaking your head. Why don't you roll with that one?
Look, I think that's just GMs, some of these sorry GMs that can't build a team. That's just talk. I mean, people are trying to win a championship right now. They're not trying to. Now, granted, in the off season or as it goes on, they might be talking about super teams, but I don't think people are discussing super teams right now. They're in the bubble. They're practicing with their teammates. Everybody has a legitimate chance. Everybody that's in the bubble can actually get in the playoffs and compete for a championship. So I don't think it's while they're in the bubble they're going to be trying to recruit a super team. I just don't agree with that. I just think, though, whoever that anonymous GM is someone who can't build a team and he wants the easy way out. And give me your job, I'll build a team for you. But I don't think really that's really going to happen in great detail because, as well as I do, Marv, all those players are so cool. Now they got each other's phone numbers. Hell, they can call you if you weren't in the bubble and say, let's do a super team. So I don't necessarily see it that way.
Absolutely. Raquel?
Yeah, I mean, I think to Lee's last point, if they want to form a super team, they don't need the bubble to do it. They have each other's number. They're grown men. They can pick up the phone and make the phone calls. And if they are planning to have a super team, they're already talking about it. And they're not going to talk about it while they're in the bubble because they've already discussed it. It's already on their agenda. But right now, they're in the bubble to win. I think for the GMs, treat your players the right way, build around your superstar, spend the money, and then you don't have a worry. I think for the GMs that are worried about that, they're not doing their job, which is why it's a worry for them. I guarantee it for the guys who have done their job, they're not thinking about a super team. They're thinking about winning the championship and preparing for the next season.
But I mean, look, guys, let's think about this. How many super teams has actually won an NBA championship, though? Like, would I really be scared? I mean, we got Chicago, of course. We got Golden.
Miami,
State.
Golden State.
Okay. Yeah, but Miami also lost. They also lost. But let's think about all the teams that didn't. Brooklyn Nets when Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, Joe Johnson, Deron Williams was on that team. They ain't win jack.
They were old.
What about Houston? What about Houston when they had T-Mac, Yao Ming, Steve Francis, didn't win nothing? The Suns had
also guys that aren't legendary either. I mean,
T-Mac ain't legendary? Yao Ming's not legendary?
Yao, you're talking about an old Yao with a jacked up foot.
T-Mac. That was an aging T-Mac, Mar.
You're talking about
let me give me Barkley Drexler, Olajuwon.
I mean, give me Penny and Shaq. And Geritol at that time.
Give me Penny and Shaq.
They weren't. I mean, Penny is going to go down as one of the greatest of players. Penny isn't going to go in the top.
I mean, I'm just saying, you got a lot of super teams that ain't win jack. So
I don't consider any of those guys super teams that you named. They were all old and coming on their way out of the league.
What about Malone, Peyton, Kobe, Shaq? They was all too.
They went to the finals, but they didn't win.
I mean, kind of. They were getting there. Those boys are out the door. Those boys were ready to hang their shoes up, and like the girls ready to put their pumps up.
Very true. I'm just saying. I don't know why people are so worried about it because it takes more than a super team to win the league. I mean,
right players on a super team, and I agree with you there, Mark. You
throw people
together just because you get 3 or 4 so-called all-stars. You better have the right mix of all-stars.
Right.
You look at
position matters. Where they are on the floor matters. You got to have the right pieces for sure.
Yeah, the Heat had a point guard in LeBron. They had a 2 guard, and they had the post player in Bosh. That's all you need. One of the 3 positions that you need. Golden State, hell, you had 3 of the best scorers ever.
In the league.
To me, when you look at the NBA now, and as you say, give me 3 players, Marvin, you help me here, that you would want to put on a team, who would it be? Who would you recruit right now and say, okay, this is my new super team that's going to win, with the NBA play. The Lakers don't have enough money to have KD, LeBron, and somebody. You know what I'm saying?
No, they don't. They don't.
So who you going to – the Clippers got as much money out as they can possibly get. There's no room for another guy. And anybody else, I'm not afraid of them. You feel me what I'm saying? I agree with you.
While you just brought up the Clippers and we on that subject, now I will say this. I saw the Clippers today. The Lakers in trouble.
Nah.
The Lakers in trouble. I forgot they had Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, career 15. He could score. Yeah, I forgot that they picked up Noah, a good energy guy, give you 6 fouls, give you whatever you need. I forgot that they got the Morris. I forgot they had all this.
The Lakers got a Morris too. Let's throw that out there. Still, Noah's not a matchup for Anthony Davis, Marv.
Noah is out the door almost. They brought Noah back from retirement just to put some pieces to the puzzle. Noah is tapped.
But what he can do is you're not looking for that from him. You know what he can do?
He's going to aggravate and agitate a little bit, and it'll work for a game or two. Then they'll sit him on his bottom and say, "Okay, go back and play in the baby pen."
Y'all got a lot of faith in Anthony Davis.
He's going to do what, Mark?
Y'all got a lot of faith in Anthony Davis for some reason. For somebody who ain't did nothing since he been in college, he put up numbers, but I ain't seen him win nothing, and he been hurt.
This is his first championship this year. They going to win.
Oh, okay. All right.
My only concern with the Lakers, again, as I said, you got to rest LeBron at some point and how that's going to work. You don't want to wear LeBron down and playing, 38, 39, 40-something minutes, 42, 44 minutes like that. You don't want to wear him down doing that, especially having the ball in his hands. And then let's say a Patrick Beverly just hounding him. He can't guard him in the post, but he can hound him bringing the ball up. You don't want that for LeBron. So the Lakers need to figure out what their rotation is going to look like with the ball handling. That's really all they go. And by the way, they are going to get something out of JR. Trust me. Y'all sleeping on JR, but JR can get JR gonna have 1 or 2 games where y'all gonna say that's the old JR. Just red hot.
Yeah, he's guaranteed for that. I think Marv knows that. He's going to have 1 or 2 blowout games.
I had to bring it up because Raquel had the hat on. So
I wore this hat intentionally today.
I'm rocking with the Lakers on the championship. Marv, my sleeper team is Portland, man. Portland's healthy. Carmelo is trimmed down. Watch out for Portland, man. Watch out for Portland.
Every year it's Damian Lillard, it's McCullough. Watch out for Portland. I've seen the show. They can get you buckets from anywhere on the floor, but they can't defend nobody. And they can't stop nobody.
That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna throw that a little bit up. We'll be